Hey, what's up guys? Crux, aka Lockhart here, bringing you my advanced dueling guide for the Magicka Sorcerer for the Murkmire patch in ESO. Dueling is one of those underrated features in ESO. I wish there was more incentive to do them. This build video is going to go over literally everything you can possibly think of about Magicka Sorcerer in terms of dueling. We're going to be going over, CP setup, equipment setups, what you can run instead of other sets that I'm running to make it a little bit easier on you guys to farm. What skills that should and should not be slotted, all the changes of all the abilities in Murkmire patch, because there has been a lot of changes. Now, this build is going to apply to literally everyone. If you're a casual dueler, if you're an advanced dueler, if you've never even dueled before in your life, I feel that dueling in ESO is just a good habit to get into, to figure out the pros and cons of your class and exactly how you fare against other specific classes. Right, so you need to know your weaknesses, and you also need to know your strengths, which you can't really gather from an open world environment. This build that I'm running is completely cheese free. There's no proc sets involved. I feel that proc sets kind of take the fun out of dueling, because essentially your victory, so to speak, is reliant upon some RNG proc. I don't really necessarily agree with that. We're not running poisons, but we're not running any of that stupid shit. Okay, so this is a straight up non-cheese dueling build, and I will be running this throughout the entire Murkmire patch unless something astronomical happens or there's some changes that happen to the sorcerer. But this is the build setup that you guys want. It's a maximum spell penetration build, which this patch is super important because of the changes to the wards, because now they're critical and your resistances apply. So naturally, you want to kind of adapt to the meta and stack as much points into spell vent as possible. So without further ado, guys, sorry for the elongated prologue. We're just gonna hop right into it. All right, so character sheet completely unbuffed. Here's what our stats are looking like. Don't really worry about the maximum Magicka being as low, because your shields aren't based off your max mag anymore, if that makes sense. You can see the recovery, stamina recovery. Whatever build you run, I do suggest having about 1,000 stamina recovery in duels, because you'll be blocking and roll dodging a lot. Crit resist, pretty fucking high. Spell damage, decent. Spell crit, pretty decent. And again, this is everything completely unbuffed. Now, if you want to, buff everything, this is without weapon damage proc on the front bar, by the way. Here's our recoveries. Here's our spell damage. With a weapon damage proc, we'll be well over 3k spell damage on the front bar. Notice the 43% crit. Then our back bar, we have an absurd amount of resistances as well. We have almost 24k, which is really good for a sorcerer on your back bar. You can play around with a lot of different states. You can actually get that to over 30k if you really wanted to. So character sheet wise, we are a high elf. You can run a Breton or a dark elf. Either is really good. One gives you stamina. The dark elf gives you stamina. The Breton gives you some spell resistances, plus some cost reduction. Next, we're running bi-stat foods. The reason we're running the bi-stat foods is because your shields now are based off of your maximum health, so having a really high health pool is very important. Not only does it make you more tanky, it also makes your wards bigger, which also make you tanky. We have 13k stamina, which is very high. I mean, it's not low considering the amount of stamina recovery you have. You're never going to burn through that 13k. You can break free and roll dodge 3 times with this build, so you're really not going to run out of stamina whatsoever. It's very important in duels. You run out of stamina as a sorcerer, you're a goner. It's just the way it is. As far as the Mundus, running the apprentice, it does give you a little bit more damage than running the mage. Normally I would suggest the mage, but since shields aren't really reliant upon your maximum Magicka, that's not really relevant anymore. So this is the most damage you can get. Alternatively, you can run the lover, but since we're running around 20k spell pin, I feel that that's a really good soft cap for duels. You can invest more into that, for example, changing the apprentice to the lover, which gives you more spell pin. But as far as putting too many points in, I think 20k is about what the average, decent dueler will have, and you don't want to go super over that because you're just missing out on raw damage. Okay, so there's the stats. Of course, everything in the Magicka. Mundus, foods. Let's get into the set, shall we? Alright, so our first set we're running is spinners. This is quintessential, in my opinion, the best set to have this patch. Not only is everything damage on it, but the 5-piece gives you, X amount of spell penetration. That equates to about 7.5% overall damage, just raw damage, just from that spell pin alone. And I don't think any other 5-piece is going to give you that much raw damage than that. So that's why we're running spinners. We're also running a Nirnhone to give us a little bit more spell damage. Again, you can switch this to Sharpened if you really, really want to invest heavily into spell penetration. But like I said, about 20k is about as much as you want. As long as you hit that threshold, I think you'll be fine any build that you run. Running the weapon damage enchantment just for a little bit more burst. Okay. There is a new set out, pretty easy to farm. I think it's called the Strategist. It kind of does the same thing, but it marks your target and makes you do 500 spell damage against them. That's a good alternative, easy to farm at the moment. But as of right now, this is what I'm running. This is pretty much min-maxed. Back bar, however, running the Maelstrom's Resto. This may take a little while to farm. If you don't have access to this, it's no big deal. You can run a Willpower Resto. The reason we're running this with defending with Absorb Magic Enchant, again for sustain. The defending is make us a little bit tankier on our back bar. That 2752 resistance is about 5% worth of damage, so it's good. But the set bonus it provides, when you cast a rapid regen, it gives you 800 Magicka every 4 seconds. This is equivalent to 400 Magicka recovery, assuming that each time it ticks, it's going to crit. So I guess on average, you can expect this being around 250 just raw recov, based on your RNG with your procs or whatever. So that makes this ability free to cast on our bar, plus it gives us a pretty good hot in case we're running against someone who's running slows or like a damage health build. Next set we're running 2 stat pieces. What I mean by stat pieces is just monster sets that give you just raw stats, nothing special in particular. We'll be running Triglyphs on all the big pieces because we need to maximize our health as much as possible. Plus, it gives us a little bit of stamina, which we need since we're running buy stats. We do sacrifice a little bit of damage, but it's well worth the trade. Here's the other stat piece. I do recommend Zombie House. This gives you maximum Magicka, and it also gives you stamina. Last but not least, we're running Amber Plasm. This may be a little bothersome to try and farm and get the right traits on. You get this in the Mazatlan dungeon, which if you don't have ESO Plus, it is a dungeon you have to pay for. So there's this set. Gives us everything we need. Gives us the crit, maximum Magicka, spell damage, and plus it gives us the that's kind of weird, little tear in the screen there, but it gives us the stamina and Magicka recovery we desperately need. Stamina recovery is probably the best part to this set. I'm running Impenetrable on all of our shit here because shields are now critable. You gotta have high crit resist, otherwise you're just gonna get melted. You just are. And we have spinners for the jewelry. I have 1 spell damage and 2 Magicka recovery. Since we're a high elf, and this is a decently high Magicka recovery dueling build, I do think you benefit more from 2 recovery instead of 1 recovery and 1 reduced spell cost. They're about the same. I did an analysis on the reduced spell cost. As long as you're casting around 40 spells a minute, that glyph does work more than the magic recovery. Don't put 2 of them because it does stack diminishingly. So if you really wanted to absolutely min-max this, I would put 1 of each, 1 cost reduction, 1 cost reduction, and 1 magic recovery. But with the high elf passives, this kind of outweighs that a little bit. Anyway, we can get into math in a different video if you guys want. I have a whole Excel spreadsheet on how to min-max all this shit. But running 511, we have medium Zombie House shoulders and heavy Lambrus helmet for our Undaunted passes, which we will go over in just a moment for casual player if you're not sure exactly what passives or whatever to have, or you're low on CP points. But this is the gear setup, guys. So let's go over, before we hop in necessarily to the bar setup, some important passives to have. You obviously want all your class passives. They all help you in some shape or way. As far as the destructive staff skill line, you don't necessarily have to have these passives because we're not running like Force Pulse or whatever. But you do need Tri-Focus, and I think it's Ancient Knowledge. Yeah, so Ancient Knowledge, equivalent Flame Staff. Usually your single target ability is 8% more damage. Every ability we have other than our ultimate is single target, so you definitely want to have a Destruction Staff skill slotted in addition to this passive slotted if you are low on points to put in. Restoration Staff, as many as you can slot. We rapid regen. I have 2,500 hours on a sorcerer. I still don't have this maxed out. It's pretty sad. But all of these, if you can afford it. If not, it's not the end of the world. Just be sure you have Restoration Master and Absorb really nice. Light armor and passives, they did change the passives around a little bit before. My Harness Magicka was double dipping into the Return Magicka pool. They recently fixed that. So the new passive to discuss, however, is called Grace. This reduces snares and reduces the cost of your sprint per piece of light armor worn, which is a really good change in my opinion. I hated snares. I fucking hate snares. Like moving at like 10% your normal speed is shitty. At least this helps a little bit with that. In my opinion, I think snares should be nerfed even more. But anyway, all those passives if you can. Medium armor, you don't need points in here. These are just if you have the extra points. Also in heavy armor. Juggernaut, however, you do need to try to get this. This gives you 2% more maximum health, which is quintessential. Shadow Rider, just because when I ride around, I like fucking pulling, you know, the small camps and stuff. So there's that. Fighters Guild, depending on your ultimate, if you run Dawnbreaker, definitely have skill tracker slotted. Mages Guild, try to have all these just because. Psijic Order skill line, running Yelly Weapon as you see up there on the bar. We'll go over that more in depth in just a moment. You definitely need Concentrated Barrier. Not so much Deliberation, but definitely Concentrated Barrier. Spell Orb really nice. And Clairvoyance. If you can get these, you have the skill line unlocked, definitely have them. Undaunted, you only need Undaunted Metal. This gives us our 6% maximum stacks all around. Maximum stats all around, excuse me. Don't need any of this shit. High Elf, always have these. Alchemy, definitely have 3 in medicinal use. The rest of them's irrelevant. So, that goes over all the passives that you need. You can probably max out the passives about 80 points, 80 and 90 points, I think is all you're going to need with all the skills and such. Alright, so let's hop on to the front bar here, just as a kind of a reference point without our weapon damage proc. Frags are at 14.5. This is lower than previous patches build. Previous, you know, we was hitting around 16, almost 17k frags. And again, guys, we've had to sacrifice damage this patch to, you know, kind of adapt to the meta. But in the patch notes, they did buff frags by 10% more damage, so it kind of evens out in a way. As I said previously, you can stack more into damage if you feel that you're over sustaining. But I like to over sustain, so especially against Stamplars. Stamplars are a tough fight. Next skill we have is a Haunting Curse. You time this really well with your frag, obviously. What I would suggest you guys is put the Haunting Curse on and just leave it on, let it set until the second effect explodes. The only class that I would not suggest doing that on would be any class with like a Purge, like a Magplar or a Stamplar. As soon as they purge it, put this shit back on them. So they're burning through another magic constantly trying to purge this curse, because you're not going to burst them without this curse going off. It's just got to happen. Rune Cage, I have mixed feelings about this this skill. It's very good and very bad at the same time. They recently changed it. The way it works now is you put a debuff on your opponent. The debuff itself is undodgeable, and 1.2 seconds later, it will stun the opponent. Now, you can roll dodge the stun, so that is unfortunate, but you can just reapply it right afterwards. So they are expending resources in dodging this, and you'll eventually get a CC anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's very, that 1.2 second debuff time does go very quick, and you can line up an extra light attack weave. I'll discuss that more in a moment with this. The only other CC that you really have access to is Flame Reach, and it's unreliable at best. So the next ability is Elemental Weapon. This hits hard as fuck. It's super cheap. If your light attacks miss, you get the resources back, and it applies the status effect every single time you use it, whether or not they have a shield. When I say shield, I mean a ward, like a hardened ward or a harness ward, not necessarily a shield that you carry. So, plus this procs are passive in the Sigic Order skill line, which you can also line up with your burst. When you use it 5 times, it creates this orb that launches at them. It actually does a decent amount of damage. If you're good enough in counting your stacks, you can align this with your burst, and it hits hard. It really does. Alright. Last but certainly not least is Ellie Drain. This does everything. It's free to cast. It gives us 5k spell pin, and gives us Magicka Return. And it helps us proc our destructive staff skill line passive, Ancient Knowledge. It makes us do 8% more damage. So definitely have that slotted on your bar. Ultimate Shooting Star. The reason I'm suggesting this, you do get a little bit ultimate back. Yes, Ice Comet does do more damage, but it doesn't give you the ulti regen. Also hits vampires especially hard. The reason this is so good is when you go in for your burst combo, the optimal burst combo is having the curse on them, having a proc frag. You can rune cage, meteor, and then get an Ellie weapon off at the same time. The reason this is so good is the opponent you're casting this on has one of two options. One, they can either roll dodge the rune cage, dodge that CC, just to get hit by the meteor CC, or they can try and hold block, and then in that case, rune cage is going to stun them anyway, and they're still going to take the meteor. So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation. So if you have both of these abilities slotted during your burst combo, they're taking the CC one way or another. One other thing that is noteworthy, they did add a minimum travel distance to the frag, and what that means is if you're butt humping them, right, even though you use the frag, it's still going to have, like, I think it's like a 0.3 second travel delay before it actually hits them. I guess to make sure you have some sort of reactionary thing to it in case you get CC'd, so you can roll dodge it. They did the same thing to the Spectral Bow. The Spectral Bow I understand because it hits like twice as hard as a frag. Why they did that to the frag is, I don't know. It was already hard enough to CC someone with a Donnie and then hit them with a frag anyway. So now it's kind of even harder. So you'll notice in close quarters combat, the frag will seem kind of laggy, but when you're further away, you're not even going to notice the difference. So there's what our front bar is looking like. Back bar, running a rapid regen again for our Maelstrom Resto passive proc. This also counters slows and other damage health builds to keep your health up. There's no point running Healing Word anymore, in my opinion, because it doesn't give you that initial heal. They took that away, so now you have to wait for it to completely expire before you get that heal, and that's just too long to wait, assuming the ward is still persisting, you know. Next is a Hardened Ward. Now, I don't know if Hardened Ward would be better. There's Hardened Ward, and then there's the other one that gives you a little bit more magic recovery. The Hardened Ward, however, does let you have a damage shield up to 50% of your maximum health. And since we're running with about 24 to 25k maximum health, that's a pretty damn decent shield, almost comparable to last patch. Plus, you have about 25k worth of resistances tacked onto that and crit resist. Harness Magicka, I feel that Dampen, the other morph for this, is just not good enough still yet to be used. This Harness Magicka, the magic return from this is just too good. It really is. And this shield itself gives you 40% of your maximum health. So, that's really well. Notice we don't have a spell power buff on our back bar. The reason we do not have like crit surge or power surge is due to the potions that we are running. And if you're running in duels just casually, you know, you can take off You know, like Dark Conversion or even Boundless Storm and Slot Power Surge. But if you're actually taking duels seriously, like for Attorney or what have you, I would suggest having one of two pots. If you're broke as fuck like me, you'll use the Alliance Spell Droughts. This gives you your major sorcery. It gives you the recovery and restores maximum Magicka. However, if you're rich as fuck like some people, you can use Essence of Spell Power. It restores a little bit more, lasts a little bit longer, and it gives you 10% spell crit, which is very, very good. Or you can just run tri-stats. Entirely up to you guys. Alright, so back to the skills. Running Dark Conversion, they did nerf this a little bit and buff it at the same time. You don't get as much Magicka back from the initial cast of this, but you do get more over time, over the course of 20 seconds. And we're going to go over how we use this in our rotation once we get to the CP trees. It's a very important skill. Last but not least is Boundless Storm. This can proc your Implosion passive from your Sorcerer skill line. It does a little bit of damage, plus it gives you your resistance buff. Alright, and well, Temporal Guard's last. This is from the Sigil Order skill line. The only reason we have this here is while it's slotted, you mitigate 8% damage on your back bar. Alright, don't use it to save yourself or get resources back. It's a complete waste. It really is. So it's just there for the passive mitigation. Okay, so that does it for the skills. That does it for the equipment setup. We'll go into the champion tree. The blue tree is the most important. Copy and paste this verbatim. This is 100% min-max. You cannot get more damage than this. It is not possible. Since crit's relevant and got the shields again, you need 23% into this. 51 spell, 64 Ellie expert. Since all of our targets are magic damage, essentially, our spells really benefit from this besides our ultimates, but anyway. 72 Mastered Arms. Since we're running pretty much every single spell a single target, you need this maxed out. And then we have 11 points left over. You can put these in whatever. I suggest putting them in Shattering Blows, or you can put them in Staff Expert, but Shattering Blows is, I really have my frags doing 5% more than my light attacks doing 5% more, So anyway, nothing in here. You don't need it. Next tree, we got 56 Ironclad, 51 Spell Shield, 43 Resistant, 46, 37, 37. This is pretty much exactly what you want. You do not need any points into Bastion. This will not affect your shield strength literally at all. It doesn't matter if you have 100 points in the Bastion or 0 points in the Bastion, you're still going to hit that 50% threshold on your wards. So you can allocate those points elsewhere. This is how I like to have it set up. It's nice and even. There's no bias against any specific builds. I find that Magicka builds can burst you a little bit easier, so therefore I have a little bit more into Spell Shield than I do Light Armor Focus. Other than that, again, guys, like if you're at the 810 champion point cap, I would not deviate from this champion setup whatsoever. You're going to be CC'd every 5 seconds, so you need as much as you can Warlord, 43 and 43. The reason we even have points in the moon cap, we do have a decently high stamina recovery, so this 10% really helps us out, in addition to the 43 in Arcanist. And as a sorcerer, a good sorcerer, you will roll dodge and block a lot. You just will. So you need as many points in here as you can, and I put them as even as you could. But as far as CP setups, I would never change this for duels. It is min-maxed as far as it can possibly go. I assure you guys on that one. So just copy and paste this exactly. Well, other than that, guys, that is the build. Like I said before, dueling is one of those niche type of things in ESO. There's not enough incentive to really do them, and that's kind of unfortunate, because it really helps you figure out what you're strong against personally and what you're weak against, so you can kind of practice against that. I mean, there's a pretty good dueling community on Xbox. Again, there are a few bad apples in the bunch, but for the most part, especially me, if you need help with a build or you just want to practice dueling or sparring, you guys are more welcome to come to this house. This is a dueling arena I made. It's gonna be a little while, but it's fairly decent. you know, there's more than enough room for everyone, and plus you can do on the outskirts of it. I mean, I'm sorry for the screen tears. I'm in a basement on Wi-Fi, and it's not that good. So, there's really not much other things to note, guys. I will be doing some streams come Monday. Unfortunately, I can't do it this weekend because I have back-to-back 16-hour shifts I have to work, and I need to sleep at some point. So that's what I'm doing for the weekend. Now, come Monday, I'll be doing streams and posting videos of this on my YouTube, my Twitch. I haven't changed my Twitch name around. It's still O Lockhart O. You know, my previous one. So if you guys don't mind, please go and follow me. That would help me out a lot. I'm trying to get started up on Twitch. You know, not just YouTube, because YouTube's going through a lot of monetization shit I don't want to have to deal with in case I ever do get popular or whatever. But if you guys are curious about what style this is just the gear that you get from the fucking Battlegrounds. Yeah, Battlegrounds, I'm trying to say. Let's see if I can pull it up here. I think I have to be an outfitting station. Yeah, I probably do. But it's just the green guy's outfit or whatever. The fucking green, the pit daemons or whatever it is. And just the hollow jack legs. Looks pretty dope. Just make the shaders all black, and this is what you look like. As far as skins, we do have the where's it at? What's it called? Yeah, Bloodforge. Makes your character look bad. It makes any character look badass. All right. Then the staff is just the Lambrus, and then the rest of the staff is got a really cool glow. This is the Shadowrun one, which I think you can purchase from the ground store. I don't know. I just had some extra points, so that's where I invested them. But enough rambling, guys. I really hope you all enjoyed the video. And again, this is a dueling build. You can probably take this in the open world in a bigger group, but don't expect to sustain on this build. You just won't. And I guess just one more thing to touch on, guys. Like I said, you need about 20k spell pin, and you get that from Ellie Drain, you get that from Spinners, you get that from your light armor tree, and you get that from your CP tree. You can invest more, entirely up to you, but I think 20k is where you want to be on any build that you make, not just this one, any build. But it's good to be back. Glad I could get this video out there. Hopefully I don't make too shit of a thumbnail. I mean, we'll see how that goes. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anything you want me to go in depth on, another video, let me know. I'll bring up my awesome PowerPoint skills and, you know, give you guys a tutorial if you really need it. Again, for the advanced players, you know, you really don't give two shits about it. But if you're just a casual Magicka Sorcerer player and you want to get into dueling, I mean, this is a place to start. Add me on Xbox. My gamer tag is just Horcrux, HOERCRUX, like my YouTube. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.